Welcome back, students, for another session on the poem Enterprise written by Nazim Ezekiel. So, we are doing part 3 of this poem. We have already completed the first 3 stanzas in the poem, and now we will be doing the last 3 stanzas of the poem. I hope you have understood the first 3 stanzas. So, let's do the last 3 stanzas. Now let's start straight away. Another phase was reached when we were twice attacked and lost our way. A section claimed its liberty to leave the group. I tried to pray. A leader said he smelled the sea. We noticed nothing as we went, a straggling crowd of little hope, ignoring what the thunder meant, deprived of common needs like soap. Some were broken, some merely bent. When finally we reached the place, we hardly know why we were there. The trip had darkened every face. Our deeds were neither great nor rare. Home is where we have to gather grace. So, the fourth stanza, another phase was reached when we were twice attacked. That is, now they reach another stage of the pilgrimage where they are divided into groups and each group is attacking the other. They are forgetting about all the aspirations that had united them for the pilgrimage. We said, another phase was reached when we were twice attacked and lost our way. That is, they were attacked and they became disarrayed. They lost their way. They forgot where they have to go. They got distracted from their goals and their paths. A section claimed its liberty to leave the group. That is, a section of the people, that is, some people, because they had so much of differences that their group parted. Their group parted into two, and a small section of that group, it claimed its liberty. That is, they became free and they left the group. I tried to pray. A leader said he smelled the sea. That is, the goal and the purpose of the journey was lost when they were fighting, and being unsatisfied with the leader, some of them quit the group. Poet, being helpless, could not do anything and thus starts praying. The leader feels that they are near the sea, that is, near the destination, or they feel that destination is near. But still, there were so much of differences that they did not have the patience, and a section of the group, it left. So, in this fourth stanza, Ezekiel is allegorically pointing out that in every enterprise we have to face problems. And when the pilgrims were on the way to their destination, they were attacked by external forces and by internal differences of opinion. There are two kinds of attacks, internal attacks and physical and external attacks. So, in this process, they lost their way, that is, forgot their high aspirations which had motivated their enterprise. They forgot what was the real specific goal when they started their journey. And these sections of pilgrims who were keen on leaving others because frustration had overcome them. It has overtaken them and they had no courage to face the difficulties and the failures. And the poet, he says, he started praying to God to seek divine assistance. He wanted help from the God so that he could do something about it. And the leader actually he felt that he could smell the sea. Smell the sea over here means that is, they have reached the end of their journey. They have almost reached the destination. And he says that now this pilgrimage should come to an end. Now the fifth stanza, we'll read the fifth stanza. We noticed nothing as we went, a straggling crowd of little hope, ignoring what the thunder meant, deprived of common needs like soap. Some were broken, some merely bent. So, in this stanza, we noticed nothing as we went. That is, they have lost all the interest in the journey and they did not notice. You remember in the second stanza, they were noticing everything and they were taking down notes what was going around in the world around them. But here, they noticed nothing as we went. A straggling crowd of little hope. Straggling crowd, that is crowd which is actually lagging behind. बड़ी मुश्किल से चल रहे थे, जैसे पैर घसीटते हुए चल रहे हो. Straggling is walking or marching too slowly to keep up pace with the rest of the group, that they were lagging behind. a straggling crowd of little hope. They did not have any hope. That is, they were dejected and they were disappointed. They were frustrated, ignoring what the thunder meant. That is, they did not even bother when it thundered. When thunder made the sound, they did not take any interest. They ignored it. Deprived of common needs like soap. That is, deprived of common needs means they were lack of common needs, the basic necessities of life. They did not even have that. Deprived of common needs like soap. Soap is an essential commodity. So here he means to say that they did not even have the basic essential commodities. Some were broken and some merely bent. Some were broken. Broken means that they were greatly disappointed and dejected. And some merely bent. कुछ तो बिल्कुल टूट गए थे, मतलब थक हार गए थे. And some were merely bent. They had stooped somehow. कुछ हताश हो गए थे. टूट जाना और एकदम हताश हो जाना, there is slight difference in it. That when you bend, that is, you try to compromise to the situations what you are facing. But some people who cannot compromise with the situations, they break down. So some were broken and some nearly bent. So in this stanza, the pilgrims are a dejected lot. And they are tired in the body and they are also broken in the spirit. There's mind and body. So they are very tired physically and even mentally and emotionally. They do not pay attention to anything. They are not interested in anything in the world. They are like people who are dropped behind and they cannot keep up with the rest of the group. That some of the group has already parted and they have gone. And these people who are lagging behind, they are uninterested in everything. They do not care for the thunder and ignore its significance. And they are also dirty because they have been deprived of common needs like soap. So they lose all their enthusiasm, all their joy, all their courage. And really, these pilgrims represent the basic truth of human life, that people, when they get older and they're adult, or rather they are when in their old age, they feel so dejected, they feel so rejected, and they feel absolutely disappointed. And some of them get broken down and some of them get very disappointed, and they do not have any interest in life, and they are not willing to even live or move forward. So this is actually expressing the life of the people. So being totally exhausted, some of them could not walk anymore, while some bent down with pain. Thus the enthusiasm fades away and their burden is unbearable. If you compare this paragraph and the first paragraph, we can see that in the first paragraph, they made light of the burden. That is, they did not feel the burden at all. But now this burden is becoming unbearable. So they are breaking down under that burden. So now let's come to the last stanza of this poem. When finally we reached the place, we hardly know why we were there. The trip had darkened every face. Our deeds were neither great nor rare. Home is where we have to gather grace. That is, in this stanza, the pilgrims are exhausted, they are tired and frustrated. And finally, they reach their destination or the goal where they had decided to go. They reach the destination. But however, when they reach the destination, there is no joy or fulfillment on their faces. That is, here, the trip had darkened every face. So there was no joy or fulfillment on their faces. Instead, they wondered why they were there and why did they undertake the journey, as it now seems to be meaningless and unworthy of undertaking. He says, we hardly know why we were there. Like when they had begun the journey, like journey of life. When you are a small child, you are so happy and you are so inquisitive. You are so interested in the world of everything. But as you grow older and older, and then you reach that stage, we feel, why did we live? Why are we here? What are we doing here? The trip had darkened every face, that they have been so buffeted by the difficulties in life that they had lost all the shine and the gleam on their faces. The trip, that is, the journey, had darkened every face. That is, they had lost all joy of happiness and fulfillment, and on their faces, no joy was visible. And instead, they were wondering why they undertook this journey. Our deeds were neither great nor rare. So he says that the works which they did was neither great nor rare. That is, we did not do anything great, we did not do anything extraordinary, we did not achieve anything which was, you can say, worthy of all this trouble. So the trip had darkened every face. Our deeds were neither great nor rare. That is, now the journey actually seems very meaningless and unworthy of undertaking. So they forgot, but they say that we did not know why we were there. That is, they forgot their noble aspiration with which they had begun their journey in the beginning. So everyone is hopeless. None of them finds anything heroic in their journey, as a number of other pilgrims had already achieved the goal. So they were not the only ones to reach here, to reach this goal. When they have received the goal, they did not know why they were doing it. That is, when you become old, if you achieve something, so you are not someone special who has done something. There are so many people before you who have already done what you are doing now. So there was nothing heroic about your actions. And the other pilgrims had already achieved the goal. So our deeds were neither great nor rare. Home is where we have to gather grace. So for the poet, living at home with inner satisfaction is the biggest achievement of all. Hence, the journey that they started with enthusiasm ends with grief, despair, regret, and hopelessness. Actually, this is describing the old age when people they are not happy. They had gone through so much of pain and trouble in their life. They have faced so many difficulties in their lives, and even in their old age, they are not looked after well. So they feel that why did they do all this? Why did they work so much? Because sometimes when the children do not respect them, they do not do anything. If they are not successful in their career, so they feel very despaired and they regret their deeds, and also they live in hopelessness. So this is the last stanza of the poem, that it is the end of the journey. The pilgrims do not remember the aim of their enterprise. That is, they feel that when finally we reach the place, we hardly know why we were there, that they had forgotten all their aspirations, all their desires for achieving something great. So this religious trip had darkened the faces of all the pilgrims, and they all are disillusioned. Disillusioned means, that is, they do not believe in the action. That is, they had some idea that when they reach the goal, they will achieve something. But when they did reach the goal, finally, they were very disillusioned. That is, they did not have any idea that what they were, why they had come over there and what they wanted to achieve. their journey has been an exercise in futility. That is, it was useless for them to perform that journey. And they realize now that their deeds have been neither great nor rare. Home is where we have to gather grace. This line contains the essence of the whole poem. We must accept the limitations of our lot. That is, home is the place where we pray to God and receive His mercy and favor towards us. That is, he means to say that it is not necessary to go on long journeys and pilgrimages, that even while staying at home and feeling contained, contented, you can live your life. So, it means that we must accept our lot humbly and do our best to seek God's grace. That is, home is where we have to gather grace means we should accept a lot. जो हमारी किस्मत में है वो हमें accept कर लेना चाहिए, and we should do our best to seek God's grace. So, I hope you have understood this poem, and if you have any difficulty, you can post your questions on the WhatsApp group. This is all for now. Thank you.